Picture this. Two neighbours, same street, same age, both retiring this year. Both own their homes outright. The first one, let's call him Robert, has $320,000 in superannuation. He decided to retire when he felt ready. He is happy with his timing. The second one, let's call him Peter, had the same $320,000 3 years ago. But Peter was worried. He wanted a bigger buffer. So he stayed in a stressful job for 3 more years, made sacrifices, skipped holidays, pushed through, and built his super balance up to $420,000. Peter felt confident walking into retirement with that extra $100,000. He assumed his retirement lifestyle would be noticeably more comfortable than Robert's. Then they both applied for the age pension, and what Peter discovered shook him. A significant portion of the financial benefit he expected from those 3 extra years of work had been quietly offset by a reduction in his age pension entitlement. The gap between their lifestyles was far, far smaller than 3 years of sacrifice should have produced.
This video explains exactly why that happens and what every Australian approaching retirement needs to understand before making decisions about when to stop working. Before we go any further, everything shared here is general educational information only. It is not personal financial advice. Your circumstances are unique. Before making any decisions about your superannuation, retirement timing, or Centrelink entitlements, please speak with a licensed financial advisor. To understand what happened to Peter, you first need to understand a mechanism called the assets test taper rate. This is the hidden mathematical rule sitting inside the Centrelink system that most Australians have never heard of, and it changes everything about how you think about saving for retirement. Here is how it works in plain language. When you apply for the age pension, Centrelink looks at the total value of your assessable assets, your superannuation, your bank accounts, your car, your caravan, your investments. For every $1,000 your assessable assets sit above a certain threshold, Centrelink reduces your fortnightly pension payment by $3.
$3 per fortnight does not sound like much, but $3 per fortnight is $78 per year. And when you look at it that way, for every extra $1,000 you have saved above the threshold, you are losing $78 per year in guaranteed government pension payments. That works out to a 7.8% annual cost on every additional dollar saved above the limit. Now multiply that across $100,000 in extra savings. For every $100,000 you accumulate above the threshold, your age pension is reduced by approximately $7,800 every single year. That number is the key to understanding what happened to Peter. Let's go back to our 2 neighbours and walk through the real numbers. Robert retired with $320,000 in total assessable assets. Because his balance sits relatively close to the lower asset threshold, he receives a substantial part pension from Centrelink. That regular, guaranteed government income combines with his superannuation drawdown to give him a comfortable, reliable fortnightly income.
Peter retired with $420,000 in total assessable assets. Because of the taper rate, his age pension entitlement is approximately $7,800 lower per year than Robert's. Now, here is the uncomfortable reality. Peter does have more money. He has $100,000 more in super than Robert. That is real. That money is his. It provides a buffer, flexibility for emergencies, and peace of mind that extra capital brings. But in terms of his day-to-day spending income, the money actually flowing into his bank account each fortnight, the gap between Peter and Robert is far smaller than either of them expected. To generate the same day-to-day income as Robert, Peter needs to draw more heavily from his superannuation to replace the pension income he is no longer receiving. The extra capital is there, but a large portion of its income benefit has been absorbed by the pension reduction.
Peter worked 3 extra years, expecting a dramatically better retirement lifestyle. What he discovered was that the taper rate had quietly clawed back a significant portion of that benefit through reduced age pension entitlements. That is not the same as saying the extra saving was worthless. It is not. But it is a very different outcome from what Peter imagined when he was pushing through those final stressful years. This trap catches thousands of Australians every year, because the retirement system is not just about how much you save, it is about how your savings interact with the age pension. They are not two separate systems, they are interlocked, and if you plan for one without understanding the other, the result can be deeply surprising. There is a specific zone in the Australian retirement system, sometimes called the dead zone, where a retiree's total combined income from super and pension barely changes even as their asset balance increases significantly. It is not a flaw in the system by accident. It is how the taper rate is designed to work, gradually reducing government support as private wealth increases. But for the people living in that zone without understanding it, it feels like working harder made no difference. Understanding this changes the way smart retirees think about planning. The question is no longer just, how much super can I accumulate? The better question is, what is my projected total retirement income, super drawdown plus age pension, across different scenarios? That combined number is what actually determines your lifestyle. This is also why major financial decisions in retirement, downsizing the family home, making large purchases, deciding when to stop working, can have unexpected consequences for your pension entitlement that are not obvious until you understand how assessable assets interact with the taper rate. For example, selling the family home and moving cash into a bank account can push someone over the asset threshold overnight, because the family home is an exempt asset, but cash in the bank is not. This is one of the primary reasons financial advisors recommend getting proper retirement income planning advice before making large structural decisions with your assets. It is not about gaming the system, it is about understanding it well enough to make informed choices about your own money. The single most practical thing you can take from this video is straightforward. Before you decide to work an extra year, or 2 or 3, do the calculation. Not just the super balance calculation, the full combined income calculation. What your total retirement income looks like at $350,000, at $450,000, at $550,000, with the age pension factored in at every level. That calculation will tell you more about the quality of your retirement than any super balance target ever will. For most Australians, the answer is genuinely surprising, and knowing it before you make the decision, rather than after, is the difference between a retirement built on informed choices and one built on assumptions that turned out to be wrong. If this video gave you a clearer picture of how the system actually works, please subscribe to Gary's Australian Retirement Guide. Every week, we take one part of the Australian retirement system and explain it simply and honestly. No jargon, no financial product sales, just practical information about how to make the most of the retirement you have worked your whole life to reach. The next video covers something that almost every Australian retiree gets wrong in their very first year, and the cost of that mistake compounds every single year they leave it unfixed. You will not want to miss it. And before you go, one question for the comments. Did you know about the taper rate before watching this video? Drop a yes or no below. I want to know how many people are planning their retirement without realising this number exists. See you in the next one.